Okay. Thanks for showing up. There was a little technical difficulty getting on here. It's really moving slow. I take it might be what's going on in our area right now. But morning. Guess who's here? Coach T. So good to see you guys again. Whether you're here live or on the replay. I really thank you for doing all the things like sharing this out with folks that you know and letting folks know that we're on this channel each Tuesday at 7:30. And we're going to start. Listen, the topic for today is Eat Your Heart Out, Lupus. You're like, what the heck is that kind of title that you had on your thumbnail? Well, I tell you, when I get ready for these Tuesdays, I'm like asking the Lord, what should I talk to you guys about? Who's that one person that I can reach out to kind of help them in this journey of what they're dealing with? And I have to be honest, he gave it to me. He said, eat your heart out. Eat your heart out, lupus. Okay. And did you know your plate can be the best medicine for this altogether? But before we even get into that, you know what we got to do before we get started, right? This morning, we got to pray. All right. So, first of all, I'm going to ask the Lord, Father God, thank you so much for this day. Thank you so much that we're able to get up again and praise your name. Unfortunately, some people have not been able to do that. Lord, guide my steps and allow me to be the vessel today to give the words to your people to help them in furthering and getting healthier in their journey with regard to their bodies and minds. Thank you for using me in that capacity, using my voice, my talents, and my skills to uplift you, but also uplift your people too. Thank you so much, and we love you. We love you. We love you. Thank you so much in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so good morning, Coach Kim. Good to see you today. So the reason I talk about this is because I really feel that a lot of people don't talk enough about what's going on, especially for women in their bodies and the things that we deal with on a regular basis. Because beside the fact of some folks dealing with a condition of systemic lupus or some kind of autoimmune condition, we still have things of life, you know, whether we're a parent, whether we're a mom, whether we are, how you doing, Alex? Whether we're employees, business owners in the ministry, we got so many things going on as a woman. We all need to pull together and encourage each other to keep moving on. So this is my way that God has sent me to really facilitate and guide the women in their lives for victories to say, yes, I can still overcome, regardless of the fact that the doctor diagnosed me with something called lupus. Okay. So that's why we're talking about this. So we're going to eat our heart out. And let me show you how we're going to do that. Okay. Let me show you how to do that. First of all, let me say this, and everything I'm saying to you, I truly how can I say it the best way? It's always in love when I share these things with you, okay? I just want to say. So, listen, we got to stop playing around, y'all. I keep seeing more and more articles, whether it's, in the Times or whether it's in USA or even my town paper, that what's happening is that it's really increasing. The chronic diseases are increasing in our lifetime. I don't remember the percentage right now, but they're increasing. And I'm wondering why. It's because we're not taking care of ourselves the way we need to, sis. Okay, we're letting all that extra noise outside get to us. The stress levels are going up, the cortisol levels are increasing, your body is deteriorating, you're eating foods that you don't need to be eating. Okay, so we have to really get serious about our health and our bodies and our minds. Okay, now we know many changes have happened in the last couple of months. Many changes. And we don't need to get into that at all on this channel right today, anyway. Um, but wouldn't you want your plate to be the best medicine ever to help you overcome and heal your body? I know I would. Okay, I know I would. So let me kind of reference to how things actually started. I don't want to go back to when I'm a baby, but I just want to give you a story to let you know how things used to go when I grew up. And it's so different than what's happening right now. You know, when I was young, my mom was really keen on keeping us healthy. She was a dietitian. Some of you guys might not know that. Some of you guys might hear my story. But we would eat stuff like Brussels sprouts. Now, how many people really love Brussels sprouts? Let's be honest. I mean, you have to cook it a certain way for it to really taste good. And I remember back then, I would like be sitting at that table so long because I didn't want to eat Brussels sprouts. Or she'll make broccoli. Okay. Of course, we always had salads. But even way, I was just thinking about it just now is that even the way she cooked her broccoli, I wasn't excited about it. I mean, she would boil it down so much and then she'd take the water out and put the lemon on it and the olive oil on it. And I used to say to myself, who eats broccoli like this? I just need some seasoning and that's it. But my mom, with the background she had, she knew exactly what she needed to feed us in order for us to be healthy young women. But back then, when you're little, you don't understand that, right? You don't understand that at all. I mean, my mom could cook, okay? She can really, really cook, you know? And I remember, like, when you make that transition when you're a little person to like college, right? The scene is totally different now. You're in college, you got some freedom, you're on campus, you're hanging with friends that you just met. And I remember the college life, I used to eat the cafeteria food that was overpriced, stale, and the comparison to that and to what my mom made, I was like, what am I doing? And before you know it, you're cramming food down your throat because you're studying for an exam or you're hanging out at a party. And my body took a beating. I don't know if anybody can relate to that in college that you just really did not eat well at all. And I learned the hard way. Anyone learn the hard way? I know I did. I learned the hard way. My body took a beating and I didn't even know it. A lot of us don't even know it in our 20s or even our 30s, hanging out with our folks and meeting, the people that you hang with, and you're eating stuff that you think is so cool, it tastes so great, and it's not helping us. But I don't want that to happen to you. That's why I'm here every week sharing something with regard to how we can conquer this. Okay, we've all had trials, we've all had valleys in our health journey, from a simple cold to some of us with autoimmune or even cancer. Agreed. Agreed, we've all had something going on. But eat your heart out, lupus. That's what we're talking about today. Eat your heart out. Now, we're going to take a big shot on this because to heal our body temples, I have a favorite verse in the Bible, 1 Corinthians 6:19. Okay, and it says, "Oh," and this is from the New King James. It says, "Or do you not know that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit who is in you, whom you have from God, and you are not your own." So, what does that really mean when you take it apart a little bit? I mean, the context of this, of course, is, Paul is talking to the Corinthians and they're all corrupt and sex is going on. So, that's really what he's talking about. But I took it more like, hey, God has given me this body, right? And we only have one while we're here. You know, I read an article that someone, I don't know, it was the first of the year or the last end of last year, that was 122 years old. That is amazing to me. I would love to live to 122 years old because I believe that is a blessing. Just like in the Old Testament, folks used to live to 500, 600, 800 years to a certain point. But we are in a society that really focuses on the look of stuff, the feel of stuff, how much you can get, how much you can own. And is that really what we're supposed to be doing with our bodies? Our bodies are here to honor God. He made us in His image. And why not take the course of action and take care of your body? Because when we take care of our body, we don't have to end up with quote unquote dis-ease in it or get medication, synthetic medication, to help the organs in our bodies regulate the way they need to. So I'm here to tell you that you can make a difference. We we like to believe we got the control. Okay, we really want to know that we got the control, but we really don't. Because, like I said, when your body doesn't agree, when the food you put in your mouth and you chew it and digest it don't agree with you, that's telling you something. That is telling you clues that maybe you don't understand. And when you don't agree, when it doesn't when the foods don't work for you, you're going to pay the price. Some of us get stomach aches, some of us get headaches, some of us skin a breakout, some of us, will have different other type of disease in our bodies because of what we're doing with it. And I know I certainly did. I certainly did. And it begins what's on our plate. Now, I remember back in school, I hope you can remember this with me for some of you. In school, do you remember when you got your plate at lunchtime or, growing up, they used to tell you what to have on your plate, like a certain amount of protein, which is like, your meats and stuff, a certain amount of carbs and starch, you know, and then your veggies. And then even back in the day, you used to talk about having dairy, having milk, or having some kind of cheese or whatever, right? But let me tell you something. I want you to picture a plate, which I actually have some plates for you today. We're going to do show and tell, okay? Some different plates. Now, this plate is a small plate, right? How often do you see people use a small plate when you go out to eat? Or do you have a small plate at home? Let me know in the comments. Do you have small plates at home that if you chose the opportunity to eat less, you would put it on the smaller plate? Okay. Now, this plate that I have, which is the actual standard plate, I believe it's 8 inches. Don't quote me on it. I believe it's 8. But this one actually, if you can see, it has the little stuff on it to tell you exactly how much to do. One area is really bigger than the other, and that's really for your veggies. The other area is for your protein. The other area is for like whole grains that are really good, complex carbs. Even though they can still be a starch. Okay, and that's my favorite plate. That's for my WW days. Okay, we used to show the plates and sell the plates too. But let me tell you what happens. Yeah, I know, Coach Kim. Let me tell you what happens in reality. So we also have a big plate. This is the big plate, y'all. Look how big this plate is. And I remember, thanks. I remember taking place like this when I'm at a party, and sometimes they're bigger than this at a party, right? Maybe a baby shower, or you're going to a dinner dance, or weddings and stuff like that. But I remember taking a plate like this. Now I am definitely confessing and sharing you honestly what happened to me. I would take a plate like this. I want y'all to see this. You see how big this plate is, right? And I would take my food and pile it up. Okay, so that just goes to show you I had no control. My body temple was not doing well when you do stuff like that. Okay, and why would I do that? Could be the reason of just being greedy. Could be the reason why I didn't want to get up again and get a second plate of food to the table. Okay, but people do that. And we're not helping our bodies when you're dealing with something with your autoimmune system because it's already fighting itself. So why can't we take the time to eat foods that work? Why? Because you think they don't taste good? Oh, believe me, there's a lot of stuff out there that tastes really good that works for your benefit. Now, let me talk to you about something because um, I, 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 I feel sometimes that as busy, whatever the word busy means, that we take shortcuts. We want to be convenient. We want to not take time to go in the grocery store and get the necessary foods we need. So we go to what? Fast food. And fast food really only has two food groups. Let's be real. Burgers and fries. I don't really see too many people offering, and maybe it's more now than it was back then, offering these, great opportunities to have, unless you're in, what's the name? The Chipotle is a little bit different. I'm not considering that a fast food, but you know what I mean. The big ones, the Mickey D's, the Burger King, stuff like that, right? So I'm really actually thinking of White Castle. These places just have burgers and fries are dipped in not olive oil, other oils that really don't work well with our bodies either. And then you have the bread and the cheese and all of this stuff that's just clogging down your arteries. It's clogging down the heart of you, the heart of your body, right? And if you keep eating like that, the burgers and fries on a constant basis, you're going to get dis-ease, right? Whether it is the fact of um, heart disease, some kind of cardiovascular thing going on, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And here in the United States, guys, because I know I have people all over the world that watch this, but we're all about the big and better. We're all about the big and better, especially in Texas. You know, the bigger it is, the more you're going to eat. Our stomachs can only hold a certain amount, folks. Otherwise, what happens? You gain weight, let's be real. Belly fat happens, right? Heart issues, diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, all of that. And for someone dealing with lupus, most likely you have more than one autoimmune condition connected with you. Usually you have two. Some people have more than two. I don't know why that happens. Um, I'm not speaking it, but I know I was also diagnosed with something called Sjogren's syndrome too. So there's something weird going on with that. But why not beat this lupus with what we eat on our plate to make it our best medicine? Okay? The combinations can give you life. The combinations can renew the cells in your body. And it's a start. I am a testimony to tell you that there was a point in my life, um, in 2004, that I was dying. The doctor was telling me, Terrell, you are too heavy. You're fat. I was 100 pounds overweight, guys, in addition to having this condition. So imagine my body was fighting. The organs were fighting to have room and space because I had 100 pounds of fat, which is not healthy. It's not healthy, you know? And it made me very miserable, made me very moody, and I ate even more because of the fact that the food tastes so good to me at the time, and I didn't really realize I was killing myself. Like Coach Alex says, fast food doesn't always allow the digestive system to be ready for food to come in and process properly. Exactly. It doesn't. So when we eat more on the plate that I showed you with the dots on it, right? You remember that plate? You could put more vegetables. Why not try this today or sometime this week? Put half your plate with vegetables. Pick the vegetables you really, really love. Okay? It doesn't have to be okra or or what I was talking about earlier with the Brussels sprouts. You don't have to have that. But hey, how about some string beans? How about some broccoli? How about some kale? Really good, what we call cruciferous foods that really take the digestion to the next level and gets working on that stuff. All right. Why not try that today? Because, when I was out there in them streets, I mean, eating wild and crazy. I mean, before even the diagnosis, we had started getting rid of the red meat. We had started getting rid of the veal and the pork. But for me, I was still eating a lot of dairy, which doesn't work too well for me because I got a lot of mucus. I was still eating the spaghetti and the I think we had like turkey meatballs or stuff like that. I was doing all of that stuff, man. Eating the fast food places, man. KFC was our favorite place with our kids. I was doing all of that and lots of bread. How many of us loved the bread? Oh my gosh, I had bread all the time. And my body was like, yo, I can't handle this. And then the sugar, oh my gosh, I got to have a pastry. I got to have a muffin. I got to have Cinnabon. All of this put me to 100 pounds. All of this put me to 100 pounds. And it put me in the obesity category in addition to the lupus flares. So you can only imagine how someone can feel. And you might be in that situation right now, sister, where you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I was doing this to myself. And and for the sugar, a sugar lies around in a lot of things, but I'm gonna eat your heart out on this lupus thing. Because now that I think about it, I want to quickly give you a quick reason for getting rid of that sugar. Because sugar turns into fat over a while if you do too much of it. And matter of fact, I'm hosting a workshop on decreasing your sugar in just 30 days and reducing that lupus pain. Because that's for real, for real. It's March 11th at 7 o'clock p.m. And I can make sure the link is in the show notes there. You can check it out for yourself. But that's a 1 hour workshop, by the way. So you definitely want to get on that. You don't want to miss that. So you can really learn the different foods that we might not even think about. They got sugar and you're eating it. Anyway, so what can we do to eat your heart out, lupus? What things can we do today, besides putting that extra vegetable on your plate, is eat nutritiously so your heart operates on track and not sideways, like I said, with these cardiovascular issues. We don't want that for you. We want you to live, okay? We don't want you dying in it. We just want you to live it. Also, look at your plate with fresh new eyes, okay? You don't need two starches. I know when it's Thanksgiving and the holidays and your grandma and them made the macaroni and cheese plus the stuffing plus the yams. I know you want to eat it all at one time. I know, I've been there, you know? And I even have to recognize at those times of the year that I have to have smaller portions. I can't have these big portions anymore. Okay, and pace myself. Next thing, release the old ways. That fast food 5 times a week, sister, that ain't making it. Let's be for real. Okay, find ways where you can definitely release those old ways, one step at a time. Okay. Next, cook your own food. Cook your own food. I know it's not easy in a fast paced society, but if you take time to really go grocery shopping or to the farmers markets, find recipes that, are simple. If you need to start simple, cook your own food, batch it if you need to, so that you can have meals throughout the week. Okay. We talked about this. The next one is select more vegetables, 50% on your plate. And the last one, which I believe is really important, um, is mindset. Our mindset is so engrooved in the way things have gone traditionally, culturally, outside in the world. But what does God is telling you about what you need to do for your body? He's telling you something. He's giving you clues, even though you're not picking it up. Okay, remember what I said in the verse Corinthians, 1 Corinthians 6:19. We're from God. We don't own ourselves. He owns us. So how are we honoring ourselves by the way we are treating ourselves? How can we do the work on this earth if we are not healthy? We're unhealthy. We have disease in our body and we get sick or we go to the hospital or we're down for 3 weeks with RSV. And I'm talking about myself last year because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was running ragged and I was eating stuff I knew darn well I should be eating during that time of the season. That was the Thanksgiving season, right? And all that stuff. But anyway, we have to get serious about this. Times are coming, times are changing. Take time to really learn about your body when you're dealing with this. Okay, when you're dealing with this. So I want to remind you, I'm here to share, educate, advocate, and equip you to win this battle. So let's be victorious. Do you want freedom? Oh, and let me share this. Shireen says, so true. Cooking your own food helps control what you put in and helps you cook healthier options. That's right, because now who's in the driver's seat when you cook the food? You are. You are, right? Not the restaurant, not the fast food place. You are. You are victorious. So, do we want freedom? But yes, I want freedom. How do I want freedom? Well, first of all, I have something called a guide called Eat for Lupus Relief. It's a free guide. Check the description. You can download that and start with those foods, swap it out right away. And then, like I said, hey, what's coming up in March is this. If I can get the flyer for you, is this. It's, hey, a 1 hour workshop with me, decreasing your sugar. Why it harms you, a plan for results for you, how to find hidden sugars, a healthier swaps for cravings. It's 7 o'clock. It's interactive. Register now at my Living Loving You Well sugar workshop. That's it. So you can do that. Let me see. It keeps coming up. Okay. You can do that. And then if you want to know the raw deal and how I fought to gain my life back, which you can do too, from this lupus diagnosis, I have a book called Embarrassed to Empowered, A Healing Lupus Story. And you can order that directly from Amazon, Terrell Sally Holloman, or you could DM me, or it might be, I believe I put it in the description, or you could DM me and ask me. And I can give you the link. But these are some ways we can get freedom, right? The guide that I talked about, I'm offering the workshop next month in March on the 11th, and also my book. But take note, this is serious stuff. I don't even, I know I use the reference in lupus, but this is really for anyone. If you want to be healthy, you're going to look at your plate and really determine what I need to change and what's going on inside my head that's causing me to not release the foods that I need to release and take in the foods that are going to keep me bubbly, that's going to help heal my body, take the cells and the tissues and rejuvenate it so that I can feel so much better on inside and outside to do what I need to do, the purpose that I have here on this earth. Okay? We only have one body and one time to go around here. So let's get serious, guys, ladies, and really take this to heart. Eat your heart out, lupus, because we got this. God got us, and we got this. All right. So I'll see you again Tuesday live. Otherwise, you see channels, you see other videos that I got going on. So pass this to a friend. Let them know what we're doing. Let them know that they can overcome too. Right. All right, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.